welcome to this edition of New Vision TV. Now, over 200 suspects were arrested in Kampala and surrounding areas over assaulting people as we ushered in the New Year 2020 a day before. This and more in our full bulletin shortly, but first, the headlines.
In our headlines today, former Minister Sam Bitangaro sent to prison, over 200 arrested in New Year festivities, and from Karamoja, herders flee villages over raids. In a sports story, MUCUREEZI completes Vipers FC move. These and more in a full bulletin.
Good evening once again. I am DERRICK ASABA. We start with news around Uganda. Now, former Minister Sam Bitangaro, William Tumwini, a director in the Ministry of Gender, and his wife Stella Kakube, lawyer Francis Owor Onyango have been charged today with 7 counts related to obtaining over 3 billion shillings from Chiwoga Twegate Cooperative Society Limited to avail them land for resettlement after they were evicted from Luwunga Central Government Reserve in Chiwoga. Now, the 4 today appeared before Grade 2 Magistrate John Okipi, who remanded them until January 6th, when they will be facing the Chief Magistrate's Court. We have a report.
According to Abid Alam, he bought the land under question from Abasi Kajoba, Sam Bitangaro, Kaima, Andrew Gasira, and Dr. Mbonye. The land dispute between city tycoon Abid Alam and some residents of Kasanda district flared up again recently. But the residents of Bukombe village, Nalutuntu sub-county in Kasanda are protesting Abid Alam's move to construct access roads across the disputed land. The affected people were originally evicted from Luwanga Forest Reserve in Chiwoga district. With the intervention of the government, they allegedly acquired land in Bukombe village. But the same land is allegedly claimed by Abid Alam. During the past few days, workers who are said to have been hired by Abid Alam went with graders to open up access roads on the land, measuring about 3 square miles. The roads are being opened without due regard to the plantations opened by the tenants, some of whom have lost crops in the process. When New Vision TV visited the area, the newly constructed roads were clearly visible. Some of the roads go through people's gardens. Esther Mukadanga, the acting chairperson of the village, said, "Whether it is a garden or home, the graders just destroy it, and people were in tears after losing lots of property." Mukandanga was named acting chairperson after the substantive chairperson, Evaristo Valu, left the area under unclear circumstances. Some residents claim that on Monday this week, they saw a vehicle carrying away property from Valu's home. Mukandanga said, "We wonder why our chairperson went missing, yet he was part of the process of buying this land. We appeal to the government to intervene." According to the residents, the move by Abid Alam to construct access roads through their vibanja was calculated to evict them forcefully. They claim that anyone who tries to resist the construction of an access road is beaten up by the workers. For many years, the land at Bukoba, Bukombe, and the surrounding villages has been at the center of dispute between tenants and Abid Alam. The residents are accusing Abid Alam of forcefully evicting them and destroying their property. During an interview with New Vision TV, Fred Kwagala, one of the affected residents, said, "We were evicted from Chiwoga. The government bought us this land, but we were surprised to see that after living here for 5 years, Abid Alam is claiming ownership of the land." Kwagala said the land was bought from a Kampala-based lawyer. He called on the government to sort out the issues between Abid Alam and the lawyer who sold them the land. In August 2019, the State House Anti-Corruption Unit said they were probing the purchase of the land at the cost of 1.3 billion shillings for the people who were evicted from Chiwoga. The land was purchased by Chiwoga Twegate Cooperative Society, but it was later discovered that the same land is claimed by Abid Alam. Over 30,000 people who were evicted from the Luwanga Central Forest Reserve in Chiwoga settled on the land belonging to Abid Alam at Bukombe in Kasanda, which sparked off a conflict in the area. The money for the purchase of the land was given to Chiwoga Twegate Cooperative Society Limited by President Yoweri Museveni and Oxfam International in 2013. In August, Lieutenant Colonel Edith Nakalema, the head of the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, told the people during a meeting that Abid Alam had offered a part of his land to resettle some of the families evicted from Luanga Central Forest Reserve that had not been resettled. The land dispute between Abid Alam and tenants was one of the cases investigated by the Commission of Inquiry into Land Management, headed by Justice Catherine Bamugemerere. Abid Alam was accused of violently evicting people from land measuring 12 square miles in Mubende district. The commission ordered Abid Alam to halt the evictions. Abid Alam, who is also the proprietor of Mitiana Farm Enterprises, told the commission that he paid 200 million shillings for the entire chunk of land. He said he bought the land from Abasi Kajoba Mawanda, Kaima, Sam Bitangaro, Andrew Rugasira, and Dr. Mbonye. Abid Alam said during the time of purchase of the land, they found a few people living on it, but did not carry out due diligence to find out if they had any claim to the property.
Away from that, in an interview with the Deputy Police Spokesperson of Kampala Metropolitan Police, Luke OSJ, New Vision TV has learned that over 200 suspects were arrested during the ushering in of the New Year 2020 festivities. Douglas Mubiru reports.
According to Luke OSJ, the Kampala Metropolitan Deputy Police Spokesperson, the suspects will be charged with assault, robbery, theft, and common nuisance.
200 people were arrested during the eve of fast on the New Year's, and they were held in different locations in Kampala Metropolitan in our custody, and today an exercise of screening them has been ongoing.
The police have confirmed that 226 suspected city criminal gangs who were arrested during the New Year celebrations will be arraigned in different courts of law tomorrow.
They will be arraigned in courts of law on charges of assault, robbery, theft tomorrow in different courts around Kampala Metropolitan.
The suspects were arrested after rampaging, looting and beating up people in different areas of Kampala during the New Year's Eve.
This is after we got phone calls from the community of Kasumi, Nakulabye, Namumona, alleging that a group of youths, 50 in number, moving 50 in number, were attacking different places, stealing phones, even assaulting people.
OASCGD revealed that they are also investigating an incident where a man yet to be identified was shot dead by their LDU officer at Nakulabye on allegations of theft.
Being investigated by all Kampala, whereby a man yet to be identified was shot by our LDU officers on allegation of being a thief. Operation started and the group of them was intercepted from Nakulabye, whereby one was shot dead, and also 12 of them were arrested in the custody and carried in the custody of Kampala.
Prior investigations revealed that the deceased belonged to a self-proclaimed group of 50 people called Chigala Boys, and the police is yet to identify other suspects and disband the group.
Thank you, Douglas Mubiru, for that report. Meanwhile, 8 people have dragged Global Cryptocurrencies Limited to High Court, demanding 100 billion shillings in damages. Now, the petitioners represent thousands of others who were reportedly conned by the company directors of over 10 billion shillings.
The suspects include David Mwesigwa, Deo Senkandwa Kalyango, Rose Najuma, Zaitun Nasozi, John Katowa Lakira, Richard Chisache, Sarah Luwambia, and Winter Tumukurate. The claimant sued the company together with its directors Andrew Kagwa Kalumba, Hudson Ntende, and Administrative Secretary Harriet Sheila Nasali in the Civil Division of the High Court in Kampala on December 20th last year. Kagwa is currently on remand at Luzira prisons on charges of obtaining money by false pretense. He is expected to reappear at Natete Magistrates Court on January the 13th, while his co-accused is on the run. Grade 1 Magistrate Joel Wegoye remanded Kagwa following a complaint lodged in court by Namungona Grace Ministries church pastor John Walakira, who claims that the directors conned him and his followers of 300 million shillings. Through NEWYEAR advocates, the plaintiffs contend that the conduct of the directors is of dishonest persons and a danger to the unsuspecting members of the public, for which they hold them liable in damages. The claimants want court to order the defendants to pay punitive damages to deter others from running such fraudulent Ponzi schemes. The plaintiffs say they have suffered psychological torture because of the defendants' actions, for which they seek general damages.
At 12 minutes of 9 p.m., we go in for a short commercial break. We do return with more stories. Please do stay with us. Welcome from that break. I am DERRICK ASABA. Moving on. The escalating cross-border and inter-district cattle incursions into Kotido district have forced unspecified numbers of herd owners to relocate from villages and grazing areas to Kotido Town Council and beyond. Onladason Wanyama has more.
Several numbers of herd owners have crossed over to the northeast of Napak district, an area which is still flooded with water from Mount Moroto and its environs, in efforts to flee the hostility from the armed rustlers now on rampage. Others are struggling with their herds to reach Acholi areas, specifically Agago district, in an effort to safeguard their animals from suspected Turkana and Mathaniko warriors. A ride along the Moroto-Kotido road, undetermined numbers of animals are being driven to Kotido town as security deteriorates in the villages. The former busy road is isolated and lonely. Most herders, sweating profusely, wrap themselves in their traditional sheets, armed with milk containers, sticks, bows and arrows, as they drive their herds for safety in town. Loruk, an elder from Namaide village, told New Vision TV that the situation was running out of hand. He said, "We are relocating to places that cannot accommodate thousands of animals." He added that even the pasture is getting depleted faster as the rains deteriorate. Loruk said last week, a combination of suspected Turkana and Mathaniko warriors struck his village and took away unknown numbers of animals. He now appeals to the government to beef up security in the areas to fight the criminality that has claimed lives in the recent months. The resident district commissioner of Kotido, Peter Logiro, said the herders had nothing to do except to drive their herds to town and beyond. He said most of them are driving their animals towards Acholi region. Logiro said the situation has not changed at all since mid-October, with the district registering raids on a daily basis. He said even today, a number of animals were taken from a kraal northeast of Kobebe inside Kotido district. He added that the army managed to recover only 15 cows before they entered Kenya. Logiro said, "It's unfortunate to the people of Kotido district that thugs have decided to terrorize the masses." He promised stiff penalties for the criminals. However, the RDC appealed to leaders not to fold their hands and abandon the matter of security to security agencies. Efforts to speak to the district chairperson of Kotido district, Ambrose Lotukei, were futile as his known numbers were not available. Meanwhile, the Army's 3rd Division Public Relations Officer, Major Telesfa Turiamomanya, has said in the next few days, more soldiers will arrive in Karamoja to beef up security. Major Turiamomanya said, "We have laid several strategies that will see us overcome the nonsense of these cattle thieves roaming and grazing the areas and villages." Turiamomanya asked the herd owners to be calm as operations intensify in the affected districts of Moroto, Napak, and Kotido.
Olanderson Wanyama for that detailed report from Kotido District. Now moving on, leaders from the ruling National Resistance Movement Party in Kabale District have expressed optimism in a voting procedure that will see the forthcoming party primaries conducted in a lining up exercise. This proposal was in March endorsed by the NRM caucus after it had been initiated by the NRM Central Executive Committee chaired by President Yoweri Museveni in the Chobe Safari Lodge in February. Job Namanya has more.
Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, the Prime Minister of Uganda, said the NRM party primaries were in the past followed by petitions from dissatisfied candidates who would not find the results representative enough of their expectations. The Prime Minister said, "There has always been a tendency, especially after the NRM primaries, of people claiming that their votes were rigged or the system was unfair. But we strongly believe that if this lining up behind candidates is embraced, such cases will reduce." He was speaking during the 4th Delegates Conference for the Kabale District NRM Party that was held at Kigezi College in Butobere. The Prime Minister noted that the system of queuing up offers direct satisfaction to everyone, and it also saves time in conducting elections. David Bahati, the Ndoro West Member of Parliament and also the Kabale District NRM Chairperson, say that since the party believes in transparency, the process of lining up would be the best tool to realize it. He said, "When you want to be sure of your visibility in the electorate as a candidate, those that line up behind you are the real supporters you have, unlike the secret ballot where a lot of hypocrisy is exhibited." Bahati further said that if NRM members embrace the lining up, it will save the party a lot of expenditure that is encountered in printing ballot papers, employing manpower to monitor, and other electoral-related expenses. Rose Namayanja, the NRM National Treasurer who represented the party's Secretary General, Justin Kasule Lumumba, asked NRM leaders to help the public in adopting new strategies aimed at improving the party. She called for complete cohesion among party members to ensure its continued success in national leadership. Namayanja said, "NRM has remained a strong party because on top of having hard-working leaders, our structures keep strong day by day. We now need total unity to see real prosperity of the party." The Kabale Resident District Commissioner, Darius Nandinda, asked politicians who would wish to aspire for various electoral positions to desist from using negative propaganda against their rivals from the same party. He said, "Politics comes along with it a lot to win the approval of the voters. However, for the peaceful coexistence of NRM members as a family, there is dire need to reduce on negative propaganda against each other. Remember, after the elections, we still need to develop NRM together." The Kabale District LC5 Chairperson, Patrick Besije Kehwa, asked leaders to help in implementing the party manifesto by being supervisors of every activity being done in their societies. Besije said, "NRM has the capacity to deliver better services to its people if our communities get clear supervision on what is being done to develop them. We need to be on the ground to ensure that each player achieves their role in the most appropriate way so as to have real development."
Now on to sports. With few days to the start of the Star Times Uganda Premier League second round, several players have been linked to different clubs in and outside the Star Time Premier League for greener pastures in the transfer market. Today, the Venom completed the signing of Paul MUCUREEZI from Mbarara City after ending his 18-month contract. Patricia Tuyahebwe has more.
Born in October 1993 in Ntungamo district, Paul MUCUREEZI rose to prominence in 2014 when he joined KCCFC from Mutundwe Lions. He later joined Mbarara City FC in 2018 on an undisclosed fee. He was today unveiled as a Vipers player on a 3-year contract deal. Vipers head coach Edward Golola expressed gratitude, saying that MUCUREEZI is one of the best wingers in the Uganda Premier League with his work ethic, talent and mentality, and that he fits exactly the type of player that Vipers needs to bring into the squad to help them improve and push on further. The midfielder is to make his maiden debut when the Venoms will be playing Chetume FC next week on Friday at St. Mary's Stadium. The question that remains on the minds of fans is what next for Mbarara City FC without MUCUREEZI, with a few days to start off the second round of the Star Times Uganda Premier League. MUCUREEZI is remembered by many when he scored a double brace when he replaced DERRICK Nsibambi in the 41st minute in CHAN competition qualifiers in 2017 against South Sudan at the Star Times Stadium in Lugogo. Story compiled by Patricia Turiahewa for New Vision TV.
Thank you, Patricia. That sport update brings us to the end of this bulletin. I am DERRICK ASABA. You have been such an amazing audience, and let's do this every other day from Monday to Friday. Good night. I leave you with the fact file.